Listen, baby, I know you're young, I know you're wild, I know you're free, my only son. Listen closely, if you can, that I want for you, my son, to be a simple man. Be a simple man. Oh, take your time, don't live too fast. Troubles will come, ooh, and they will pass. You'll find a woman, oh baby, you'll find love. But don't forget, son, there is someone up above. Baby, be a simple kind of man.
And we're going to leave it at that. Holy cow, powerful, powerful voice. And that was meaningful how you took that first. Oh my goodness. That was strong. No wonder that went viral. We have Megan Urby, and I hope I said that right.
You did. Hey, everybody. It's a lot. Hey, if I would have with my regular name, nobody would have been able to pronounce it. So I had to shorten it. You did great.
Oh, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. This is new for us, and thank you for also helping me segue into bringing our interviews where they belong on the freaking radio station. So this is our first live for lunch. That's pre-recorded, whatever. You guys can't chime in. You can join us in the little picture that we posted on Facebook, letting you know that it was happening, and put your comments there. And Megan's probably going to scroll over and check them out and reply to you. It's not that big of a deal that you can't respond right now. We want you to be on the radio station where all of our amazing songwriters are singing great music all day long. Megan, how long have you been performing?
Actually, so like probably 12 to 13 years ago, I was in actual band. And in this band, we played a lot of cover songs, country music, and then family life started. So just recently, after I decided to stick long ride on the radio, I just got kind of flung back into it. So not very long recently.
Man, when it's something you love and you find out that it's something you love, you just can't stay away from it. I was we've been talking a lot about how Peyton Riley has this songwriter retreat coming up for young artists and how it's really going to be a really awesome opportunity for people who have children who, you know, your kid's been screaming songs at the marketplace since they were 3. They're going to be a songwriter, whether you help them out or you don't help them out. Most likely they're going to be somewhere in the music scene. So better off helping them out because it is a beast of a world. And so Peyton Riley is actually partnered with the TCMA, and they have a lot of seasoned veterans out there plugging away their music all day, every day that are going to help these kids out. And so I don't know where I was going with that.
I love that. I think pouring into the children is the best thing we can do. They're what's going to lead our world whenever we're gone. And I mean, I'm really heavily involved in my church, so I try to pour into like our youth worship team. We have a lot of talented kids there too, so I think it's great. I think that the Texas Country Music Association and Peyton doing that is just really good for the kids, honestly. So
Well, and it's good for society. It's amazing for society because what that's going to do is help us get songs that aren't about, like, I just searched up song topics and like the first 12 are all depressing. And it's because these songwriters have had life handed to them and they picked up the guitar. But if we can inspire our young artists to pick up a guitar and we can build them so that the world doesn't break them, imagine what that could do for music and the world itself. And it's such a beautiful thing. And she's such an inspiring person. Like, if you go and watch her page, just watching her be so young and live her dreams, I don't care how old or young you are, it brings joy. And being around her energy, I can say that I have heard her perform a couple of times, and her performance in person, I don't know how she does it, but it'll blow you away. Like from the recording versus most people, it's like you hear them in person and you like them. You hear the recording and you're like, dang, dude, you did that.
Yeah.
But she's the opposite. You hear her on the radio and you're like, man, she's a phenomenal singer. But you hear her in person and she's going to pull on your heart. Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, she's a natural, obviously. And she's very lucky to have parents that pour into her, or whoever is pouring into her to help her chase that dream. And so I think it's great that she's taking that and helping other people. That shows that she's also a very mature person
Oh
to help
man,
other
the level
people.
of communication and professionalism and presentation, she is definitely who you want your young artists around. Absolutely. She has a whole team of people that will support the people that are working with her, and it's a great way to get into the scene without having to slaughter yourself on the ladder per se.
Well, not only that, but young girls who listen to music, you don't really have any young artists for your daughters really that they can listen to be inspired for positivity. And I have a 9-year-old daughter, so she would be someone that I would be like, hey, you want to listen to, you know what I'm saying? So I have someone new that she can listen to now and not have to worry.
Absolutely. And McKenna Faith Winters is another one that's really doing the deal. She is also a minor. I think she might be 16 now. She's out of Iowa, and oh man, her songs are just gorgeous too. And it's beautiful to see and very inspirational, but it absolutely takes a village. And you and I were chatting a little bit about the song that you just did, because it's not an original song, and the
Right.
process of being able to get that song out, and how, all of these venues, they want to play Puppet Master. They want you playing certain covers, and, they really are controlling the strings. And one way to use that to your advantage, and you just felt passionate about the song. I'm going to let you tell us a story about it in just a second. But one way to use that to your advantage is, you were saying that, I want you to explain the process of how you got this song on the streaming platform and what it's done for you, because you said it was hard. And it seems like something that if you're out there, being a puppet on stage and trying to build your own brand, and you're being forced to sing these cover songs anyway, why not record one?
Right. I agree. Especially if it's one that means a lot to you. No,
Go ahead and tell us the story behind it and the process of how you got it, into the streaming platforms.
Okay, so I'll definitely do this really short. I grew up listening to classic rock music, and Leonard Skinner is one of my all-time favorite bands, and Simple Man is one of my favorite songs. Literally, I was going through a hard time, and for some reason, I rewrote the first verse of Simple Man, and I don't know why, it just clicked, and then I was real nervous, but I went ahead and stuck it on TikTok, the good old TikTok, and the next morning I woke up and it was viral. And anyway, I wasn't going to record this song. I didn't have any plans in it, but it had went so viral that I had tons of people messaging me. And one of the people that messaged me, and I've told this story before, so other people, y'all might have heard it. Her name was Caroline, and Caroline asked me if I had a recording of it because she was going to head to the funeral home tomorrow to pay for her own funeral. And she had a 7-year-old son that she wanted that song played at the funeral home for her funeral. And she didn't know when it was going to be. She didn't know when she was going to pass, but she just wanted to have it ready to go. So the only reason why I recorded that song was because of her. I went to my buddy's studio in Waco, Texas, Rabbit Hole Recording Studio. He got me in quick. He laid down all the music. We got the drums in by my buddy Cody Newman, and I had it done probably within a week and a half. I messaged her a couple of times. The last time I checked in with her, she never responded. So I'm assuming that she passed away. But that's the only reason why I stuck it out and got it recorded, because so many people were asking for it, but it was mainly for her. And so when I did that, it wasn't super hard. Whenever you have your distribution service, usually they will ask you who the original artist was, who owns the rights to the majority of the song, and you just put all that information in. And when you put all that information in, they split it up for you. And then that way you don't get in trouble for covering someone else's song. And it's been out for almost going on 2 years or a year and a half. So, I mean, it's super easy.
That's awesome. And I've seen several artists that have really done an amazing job on a cover. And that brought traction to the rest of their songs as well. So it's awesome how God puts people in our life to kind of kick us on the path that we're meant to go on. Because if you hadn't have recorded that song and got back into writing, we wouldn't be sitting here on the radio right now talking about your music. And you as an artist and a mother, and I know we're going to get a little bit more of that as we go through these songs and hear this story behind them. Who would you say inspired your style as an artist?
I got a lot. I'm like so I call myself a really blended, I'm kind of like a mutt, like you have your Czechs, you have your Asians, I'm a mutt of mixed music. I like all music. So I grew up listening to classic rock, Christina Aguilera, worship on Sundays, the country radio station, and I kind of am just a big blend of all of that. If I had to name, like I said, my all-time favorite band is Leonard Skinner. But if I had to name my right now, I have favorites in every genre. I can't pick just one genre. Like I like rap music too. So, that's my workout music sometimes.
Right.
I mean, I can't pick one. I
I'm
would say
the
I'm more.
same way, and I really love classical music, but not the angry classical music.
Oh yeah.
Um, I'm big into watching the Zen things on YouTube where it's just like the Zen music. That is like huge, usually for my background music. But it's funny because everybody's like, oh, they're a country artist and we don't like country music. But, you might like them as a person and they might actually be jamming to the same favorite song you're jamming to when they're doing the same thing you're doing.
Yeah,
Like,
that
just because they play country music doesn't mean that that's their preferred genre. It just happens to be where their melody runs.
I like to say, like if anyone ever comes to one of my shows, you're gonna hear everything, from Metallica to obviously Leonard Skinner, Tom Petty, Chris Stapleton. And if I had to say my basic style of what kind of genre I should be put into, it would be like a style like Chris Stapleton, because he's a good blend of the southern rock slash soul and country kind of blended in together. That's what I would feel like I would be like.
Red Dirt, like Red Dirt Outlaw Country.
Yeah, just like I don't know. I'm not like the normal.
She's don't put me in a box. Do not
Yeah,
put me in a box.
exactly.
Oh, I was I've always listened to all sorts of different types of music and I've always been country, but I was the only one showing up for horseman showmanship in a pair of corduroys and a Metallica t-shirt and running into the horse trailer at the last minute to put my hair in a braid and put the button down shirt back on.
Right. I mean, good music is everywhere. You can't escape from it. And I'm not saying I'm not country. I live in the country. I am country. It's just whenever you're a creative person, you think outside the box. You don't have just one preference. There's really a lot of different avenues and different things that add to why you are the way you are, why you're the person the way you are. So,
And and that actually helped me bring back to why I started talking about Peyton and the young artist thing was the world that we're living in and my goodness, ADD and dyslexia, when you have both of them, can make your world a lot of fun. but we'll figure that out at some point. We're going to talk about your next song that you actually you have that on a radio right now. I just got it like a couple days ago.
Yes, yes.
Where Do I Belong? What's the story behind this song? It's kind of an interesting title, and I know we all probably have felt like that at some point.
Yes. Before Simple Man or Mama Simple Man went viral or whatever, I was going through a hard time. I was suffering with I was kind of just really depressed and I didn't know which direction my life was going. COVID hit, and so we kind of weren't going to church anymore. I wasn't leading worship. I have this passion for music, and I kind of honestly just wrote this song in a place of, what am I supposed to do with my life? Where did I go wrong in the decision making? Not only that, everybody has marriage problems. I was having marriage problems. We were just struggling, and so I wrote it in a way to where anyone can relate to it, no matter what part of life or what kind of struggles they're going through in their life, and they can apply it in that way because I was honestly just questioning everything in a way. So that's where that song came from.
Absolutely. Well, let's listen to a preview of Where Do I Belong?
Finally figured out gas tank is running on E. Guess I better slow down so time don't get the best of me. By a sleepy old town, thoughts and memories. No matter how far the distance, freedom don't feel free. I'm crying now, I'm crying now. Where do I belong? Where do I belong? Is it somewhere new? Someplace I've known? Where did I go wrong? Where did I go wrong? Where do I belong?
That song is playing on Texas Brew Radio, and it's been distributed across the great state of Texas. Call your favorite radio station if you're not in our area and tell them to play this song.
Yes, please do. I would appreciate that so much. I mean, I had someone message me and say that because I'd had a preview a while back on TikTok or whatever, and they downloaded it from that because it's been out since 2023. I wrote it last year. I just released it to radio. And I've had so many people message me saying, this hits home with me so much. I had someone that said, your music changed my outlook on suicide. So you never know when the right song is going to hit someone in the feels and they need to hear it. That's why I do what I do. I don't care about being famous. I don't care about the charts. I don't care about being something I'm not. I'm never going to be something I'm not. I just want to help people, and I want to keep writing music because that's my passion. And I feel like we need good music to help us heal sometimes. So
absolutely. And I think with the whole health experience that I've recently had and wondering where do I belong, a lot of that comes from everything is energy transference. So every encounter that you have along the way, you're taking little pieces of this energy with you. And just like a computer, you have to go defrag your computer. You got to go clear the cookies, clear the cache. You have to do that to your brain. We were not meant to live in concrete jungles connected to laptops, TVs, cell phones, and people and noise all day long. We were not built for that. If you are struggling and wondering where you belong, I suggest you go find a lake, go find a nature trail, go shut your stuff off and spend the day out there, because nature is nurture and it's the closest to God you're going to get before you see him. And I can tell you from experience that just shutting off the world and going into nature is going to help you realize that you need to defrag. You need to let go of all of those pieces of everyone else, all of those condescending words, all of those negative thoughts, all of that trash that's been put in your brain to program you into the chaos of wondering where you belong, and just get back to yourself. Just be you.
I agree. That I always say, take those negative thoughts captive and set them free, because those are not from God. Those are not from God. Those are not truth. And if you're living in fear or anxiety or you're doubting yourself, um, find that inner strength inside of you and push through it, because there is a light, there is an out on the other side. Don't give up. Do not give up. You're here for a reason on this earth. So as long as you're breathing, you do belong somewhere and you do have a purpose.
Absolutely. And speaking of purpose, we want to know where we can find all of your stuff at. We want to know, how do we book you? Do you have merch somewhere? What's all the goods?
So I have a website. I have music on all platforms: Amazon Music, YouTube Music, iTunes, Apple Music, Spotify. Right now, I'm talking with a booking agent, and also I'm talking with hopefully a potential, I would say, manager. Things are really, I guess, blossoming right now. I'm taking it in baby steps, trying to make smart decisions, because, this is all new to me. Like I said, I threw a song out on the radio and boom, I didn't know what I was getting myself into. So if you want to book, if you want to have me out, you can email me and I can post that. I'm on Megan Urby Music on Facebook. And then also, if you want to tag in on this streaming service, meganurby.com, that has all my social platforms on it, and I'm pretty quick to respond if you try to get a hold of me. But yeah, just try to get a hold of me. I have a little band I have together, because when I put a song out on the radio, I didn't have a band yet, but now I have something coming together. So like I said, I can't really say too much, but I do have some things blossoming. So I'm excited about that.
That's exciting. And there's tons of wineries and pubs and stuff that absolutely have acoustic artists. And man, the sound of your voice, I think that you would make a perfect fit for some wineries. Good grief. You have a very, very powerful sound. We are going to go into
Appreciate
our
you.
song. We thank you for spending the time with us. We want to hear the story about Hush before we head on out.
Okay, yes. So I wrote Hush. It was kind of dedicated. So I don't know if this happens to anyone else or any other songwriters, but whenever songs come to me, they come to me either all at once or in bits and pieces, and then they come together after a few weeks, like they'll just fit together. This song came to me literally within probably 15 minutes, and I was very emotional and I was writing it because I was thinking about my own children and just sometimes how us moms struggle. And the children, we usually don't let them know what's going on inside of us. We keep it together for them. We're being strong. We're keeping our heads up. All they see is super mom. But deep down, we struggle too. We have our down days. And I was just thinking about how my mom was a single mom and how there was a lot of times where we didn't know anything was wrong, but she would make sure that we knew everything was going to be okay and that she was going to be right there for us. And so it's just kind of like a backstory on the other side of life and what us mothers go through. So that's why I wrote it.
All right. Well, here is Hush. Y'all make sure you check out Megan Urby. She's here in Texas, right? Yes.
Yes, I'm in Texas. Yeah. Texas girl.
Man, we get a few on here and I'm like, oh yeah, sorry. I have to look it up before, and I thought you were. I was almost 100%. Texas, Megan Urby. We are going to listen to Hush and let y'all get back to your regular rotation. Oh my goodness. The interview is over. Have a good day, y'all. This is Hush.
Thank y'all.
Even though she's drowning, things that they don't see, she's She's never gonna show that she's been struggling. She puts on a smile and holds on to her faith. Lays the babies down, tell them it's okay. She says, hush, baby, don't you cry. Mama's gonna hold you through the night. Every little thing is gonna be alright. Gonna be alright. So hush, baby, close your eyes. In a little while, the sun gonna rise. Every little thing is gonna be alright. Gonna be alright.